Perfect Pickler takes fermentation to Africa. Organics for Orphans is a nonprofit organization that empowers the poorest communities through organic gardening, as well as nutritional and natural medicine and education. Half of the world's people live on less than $141 a month. 1/3 live on less than $2 a day. Half of the world is comprised of developing countries in which half of the adults cannot read. The majority of these are women, the ones who make the decisions about their family's food. 3 billion people today still cook over an open fire. Almost all of them have inadequate access to food. 30,000 children die every day from hunger and malnutrition-related diseases. Most come from Africa, where they estimate there could be 34 million orphans in the entire continent. In America, we are suffering as well from what is called hidden hunger. We get enough calories, just not enough nutrient-dense foods. According to the United Nations, world population reached 7 billion on October 31st, 2011. By 2100, just 85 years away, the world population is projected to hit 11 billion. So where will all the food and water come from? Conventional agricultural practices destroy approximately 6 pounds of soil for every pound of food. These practices often deplete the soil 18 to 80 times more rapidly than nature builds soil. Worldwide, only 33 to 49 years worth of farmable soil remains with our current practices, and there are water concerns as well. One answer lies in our own backyards. Just like in the 1940s when the U.S. government implemented victory gardens, a mandate that everyone should grow their own vegetables, and during that time in history, 40% of U.S. vegetable crops came from Americans' own backyards. When visiting the villages of Africa and India, we discovered that no one was growing food except for the farmers. Why is that? Traditional agricultural practices require expensive fertilizer, hard work, and consistent rain. Organics for Orphans is an organization that teaches a whole new method of gardening called Grow Biointensive. This method is now being taught in over 140 countries. It is 100% organic, yields 2 to 6 times the amount of food, uses 60 to 80% less water, uses little to no fertilizer, it rebuilds the soil instead of depleting it, and only requires 10% of the energy. This enables the mothers and grandmothers in underdeveloped parts of the world to grow food for their families and generate income. Orphanages that have implemented this gardening practice have been able to reduce their food costs by 92%. Organics for Orphans has a main training center in Kitale, Kenya. In January 2015, Perfect Pickler had the privilege of being invited there to reintroduce fermentation back into a culture where it had been forgotten. 1/3 of the local population in Kenya is suffering from HIV/AIDS. Because there are testimonies of people lowering their viral load with fermented foods, this brought hope to the people of Kenya. 55% of the population has diabetes. Fermented foods can be very beneficial for a diabetic condition, which again gave hope. 80% of the immune system is dependent on the beneficial bacteria in the gut, which fermented foods help to replenish. Fermenting your vegetables not only preserves them, but it makes them far more healthy than when they were raw. The vitamins increase greatly. The minerals become ionic, broken down into their simplest forms, so they are very absorbable. Probiotic cultures and enzymes are created by the billions. My husband and I taught 35 students from 7 different countries about fermentation at that training center in Kenya. We taught 12 different sessions over 2 days. Once the students understood what good bacteria does for you, they were trying to lick it off the outer leaves of the cabbage because they were so excited about its health-giving benefits. Teaching in Kenya was a challenge in that they did not have any scales or measuring spoons. I had to quickly remember the teaching from our book, Mastery of Brine Pickling, on how to use the palm of our hand for measuring. After fermentation was complete, the students all got to sample what we had made. And we got the wink of approval. Some of the women cried and thanked me so much for bringing them this life-changing information. Here at Perfect Pickler, we strive to educate about fermentation and love to see lives changed. What an honor it was for me to bring that education to the needs of the world.